All right, good morning, YouTube. It's Batcave Comics here to do a April haul. Thanks to everyone joining me this morning. Check out the books I picked up. I probably picked up roughly around 50. Since I'm only doing a video pretty much once a month, maybe a couple times a month, I am kind of out of practice with this sort of thing, so kind of bear with me as I struggle through making this video for you guys. But I did pick up some kind of unique items, a few key issues, and all these were, excuse me, pretty much out of the $1, $2, the cheapest bin of comics you can find, except for a couple in here. So let me go ahead and get started. But I did pick up, and these were 50 cents at Goodwill. I picked these up at Goodwill, but this is 38 Countdown. I guess the first appearance of Mr. Action, kind of a goofy type character comic, I guess. But hell, anytime there's a first appearance, I always pick them up. This was 50 cents also. Dark Nemesis #1. Kind of cool cover. Anytime a #1 comes out or came out, I usually try to pick it up because you never know when something gets hot. This one I picked up just for the cover alone. I've always thought this was like a fantastic cover. For 50 cents and super high grade, kind of a no-brainer. And then this one I was surprised to find. Miss Marvel #20 for 50 cents, where she debuts her new costume. It's not in near mint, but I'd say it's a solid mid-grade copy. That is just a sticker on the bag I tried to remove. I couldn't get it off all the way. So, but these next three I thought were really cool. I used to have some of these when I was younger, and I'm not sure what I did with them. But these here are actually Oriental comic books. I don't know if any of you have seen these before. I'm sure some of you have. But they're pretty cool. They actually are all written in Chinese, and you read them backwards. But that's apparently number 70, and I could not tell you what title this is. And then I picked up one that is, I guess, number 71 and number 111. And I might still have some of these in my collection somewhere. If I do, I couldn't tell you where they were at. But these were all the ones I picked up from Goodwill, all 50 cents a piece. So now I'm going to move on to a LCS where I picked up a few different oddball items, like Strom Dog #1 from Eagle Comics. This was a 50 cent buy. This one here was a $2 buy. Dark Horse Comics #8, introducing X. Like I say, first appearance, I pick them up. And this one's kind of different and unique. And this possibly may be the second copy I have of this book. But this is Dead Clown #1 by Malibu Comics. It was $1. It was super high grade, so I went ahead and grabbed it. And normally I don't buy these things, but is Protectors #1 for $1. And the reason why I picked that up is because it was a newsstand and in pretty high grade. Then I picked up Supreme #25. I do have the newsstand of this, but I picked this up because this is an early Stephen Pratt artwork, and the cover is just awesome. So I grabbed that, and then I picked up The Vault of Doom Nation #1 from B Movie Comics. Just kind of a off-brand oddball book. So why not, you know, kind of add a little variety and diversity to my comic collection. So those are all the ones I picked up from the LCS. Now moving on to flea market. Now these three, I only bought 3 at the flea market. I paid $55 for all 3 of these, which is you'll see why in a minute. But I grabbed Arctic Comics #1, super high grade. Never seen this, never heard of it, so I decided to grab that. And then X Mutants #1 from Eternity Comics. And then the book that pretty much raised the price way up was, I did pick up Hellboy #1. This was the one that pretty much made the price jump to $55. I think he wanted, what, like $65 for all of them or something, but he ended up giving them to me for $55, and I was happy with that. I didn't mind paying $50 for this Hellboy #1. But those are the ones I picked up from the flea market. So moving on to an antique shop where he's got like a kind of like a little comic booth there, I guess you could say. And I picked up quite a few from here. Most of these were $1, but I picked up X-Force 125, X-Force 126, and 127, all for $1. I usually pick these later issues up of X-Force because they're a little bit harder to find, and they had a smaller print run than the earlier issues. But also for $1 I picked up the Secret Defenders #1, which, you know, it's no big deal, but it's a newsstand. That's the only reason why I grabbed that. And for $1, you know, you're really not losing out. Then Justice League America '69, with one of the first early appearances of Doomsday, and that's a newsstand. And then for $1, Fury of Firestorm, annual #1. I also grabbed Witchblade #8, newsstand, which a lot of you guys know I collect the newsstand images and stuff like that. And then here was some of the better buys I picked up. Justice League America 112, the DC Universe logo variant for $1, and the Final Night Robin #35 for $1. I did manage to find for $1.50 Silver Surfer #1, the Marvel Epic Comics edition. This is the 2-issue limited series. I believe this is the 2nd or 3rd copy I have of this, but the cover is just fantastic. So I wasn't going to leave it for that price. And then for $2, I picked up Marvel Premiere featuring Weird War. This is the world. This is the first appearance of Weird World. Try to say that fast 3 times. But I think this is like the 3rd copy of this I picked up. Anytime I find this book cheap, I grab it. It's just a great cover. And sometimes it goes for a couple dollars depending on what condition it is. Now this next book was $1.25, and I want to give a shout out to Metarog and Silver Age Dave, because this is the kind of stuff they really like to pick up when they see it. and I do also. But this is Games, Books, Toys, and Puzzles, the superhero catalog. And this one's really cool. I forgot to look what year this came out. I'm sure it came out in the mid-70s. But this catalog's super cool. It's got advertisements for to buy like toys, games, puzzles, just all kinds of comic related stuff, posters, I mean, t-shirts. It's just something I think that's really cool to have in your collection, especially when you can look back in time and see how you can purchase some of this stuff through one of these catalogs. All right, this one I thought was a really good buy. This was $3. Fantastic Four 151. I bought this because it was like in super high grade. Could use a pressing, but this is also the origin of Thundra. All right, let me get these out of the way. I got to make a little bit of room. But still moving with the same place. I picked up Blood Strike number 15, which once again is an early Stephen Platt artwork. Super cool. Great artwork. I love his artwork. Anytime I see any early artwork from Stephen Platt, I pick him up. And then for another $1, I picked up Steel 11, DC Universe logo variant. And then I thought this was another good buy. For $4, I grabbed Iron Man 118 Whitman variant. Nice, solid, I'd say mid to high grade for $4. And then the last one I picked up at this place, which I did pay $11 for, is Shazam number 3, which is the origin of Captain Marvel, or Shazam. All right, so those were all the ones I picked up at the antique mall that have a little comic booth in there. All right, moving on. Now these I picked up, the rest of these I picked up at an antique place, a different antique place who had quite a few comics. I just went in, asked, you got comics, and lo and behold, she had like 10, 15 long boxes of comics. So guys, if you're out there hunting, remember, don't ever be afraid to ask, hey, you have comics, because you never know. And most of these were $2 a piece. But I grabbed Action Comics 714, just a super cool cover. I don't know if there's anything else important with this book, but the cover caught me right away. For $2, had to pick it up. Then I grabbed Silver Surfer number 71, introducing Morg, first appearance of Morg. Gen 13 number 15, newsstand edition. Still rolling with $2. Darkness number 2, super high grade, newsstand edition. And Supreme number 1, newsstand, which is the second copy of this I found now. This next one is Supreme number 3, newsstand. And I know this is a first appearance of somebody, I can't remember the name, but I want to think this is the first appearance of Blood Strike too. If I'm wrong, or if anybody knows, please leave it down in the comments. For $2, I picked up Doom Patrol number 7, first appearance of Shrapnel. This is the second copy of this. Let me get these out of the way. Now this next book, I believe it hit the top 10 about a month ago. And I was really excited to find this book because I'd never seen it before. But This is Detective Comics 585, the first appearance of Ratcatcher. And when I saw this, it really, the cover really drew me to it. I love the cover. It was just something I wanted to search out at a cheap price. And one reason why I love that cover, because if you look at this book that's been in my collection, Captain America 272, I mean, that's a pretty close resemblance of these two books. And both these covers, I think, are pretty nice. And this Detective Comics is in a really nice high grade. So when I seen that, and let me give a shout out to Comic Tom 101, because I believe that's where I had seen this book at. All right, moving on. $2 buy. Doctor Strange 44. This is the first appearance of Kotorak, I believe that's how you say it, which I know this book got hot for like 2 seconds, but for $2, why not? Then I found the West Coast Avengers number 46 in really nice, solid, high grade. The first appearance of Great Lake Avengers. And I also picked up, for $2, West Coast Avengers 45. First appearance of White Vision. I almost left this one behind, but I was like, you know what? For $3, I'm grabbing it. Power Girl number 1, the miniseries, and this is her first solo series. Pretty nice cover too, so I decided, you know what? I'm grabbing it. Then I found, what was this, for $2? Yeah, these were $2 also. I found Wonder Woman number 9, first appearance of Cheetah, the regular edition, and the newsstand edition. And let me give a shout out to Metarog and his Perez signing video. He showed this book, Fantastic Four 186, and this is the first appearance of Salem 7. But he also mentioned this was his first cover art. Now, I'm not sure if he said this was his first cover art for Marvel or just in general. But what I paid, I think $2 or $3 for this. This was $2 and super high grade, so I was gonna grab it. Definitely wanted a piece of comic history, and being Perez's first cover art, that definitely qualifies. So I wasn't leaving that behind. All right, then I also grabbed Captain America 359. Regular and newsstand for $2. Let me move these out of the way. Now I have, I don't know, like 5 or 6 more. And these are basically the better ones I picked up from this place for $2. But I grabbed Superman number 89, DC Universe logo variant. This next book I've wanted in high grade for a long time. I've had the whole mini series forever, but you know, they were all beat up because as a kid you kind of rummaged through them a ton. But I picked up Marvel Superhero Contest of Champions newsstand edition, and just really high grade for $2. I think it's got one little spine tick right there, but other than that, this book is super sharp. I also picked up a second copy of Silver Surfer number 1. I believe this is a one-shot, but a fantastic cover. Every time I see this for cheap, yeah, $2. Every time I see this for cheap, I pick it up, especially if it's in high grade. And then I also, for $2, picked up a second copy of Warlord #1. It's probably in fine minus. It's got some ticks and some creasing, but for $2, Bronze Age #1, I'm not leaving it behind. And then the two big books, key issues I found for $2 a piece. I found Tales of the Teen Titans 44, first appearance of Nightwing, newsstand edition for $2. And then I also found New Teen Titans #2, newsstand for $2. First appearance of Deathstroke. Now it's a little beat up. It's got staining, creasing. I can't see the back in here, but I think anybody out there, no matter what condition, if you can find this for $2, you're picking it up. But that's it. That's my haul for April. Thanks everyone for stopping by, checking me out. Anybody I mentioned in this video, go sub up if you're not already. Run out and sub up somebody new. That's what it's about. That's what this community is about. Subbing each other, sharing our content. I love this community. I learn a ton, and hopefully I educate a few viewers on a few things. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Batcave Comics, out.